Hey there, I'm Sarah A. Chrisman.
And I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And today we're going to talk to you about one of my favorite books that I reread each October, Something Wicked This Way Comes by Bradbury. So, Bradbury isn't exactly a Victorian author, but he definitely evokes a timeless feel in his books, and that's part of what I love about him. He writes in a really poetic style, which just melts me. If I'm very, very good in this life, I may come back with someone who can at least aspire to the level of amazing poetry, poetic prose that Bradbury writes. He's really great. But this book, I have to reread every October because it has one of the best first lines ever. It begins, "First of all, it was October, a rare month for boys," which is just the best scene setting ever.
He does a great job of just capturing this sort of timeless Americana, especially for boys of a certain age, and especially for the Midwest.
Right, and part of how he does that is he avoids anything which would have been for him really modern, which would have pegged it in a particular time. Like, I think in this entire book there's one car, and they don't mention television at all, which, given that otherwise it's very much a 1950s sort of landscape, the absence of the television definitely takes it out of the 1950s and puts it in this timeless, iconic America.
That also has a good deal of Victorian imagery and Victorian cultural things embedded in it. The circus coming to town, the carousel specifically. These are very Victorian sort of touchstones of this American iconography.
And like I said, I reread this every October, and as I've been rereading it this time, I've been realizing how big of an influence Bradbury has been on my own work, because not only did I name Felix Holloway after Will Holloway in Something Wicked This Way Comes, that was conscious. Other things, like I wrote an entire book in the Tales of Chetzemoka series where they go visit a circus, that was unconscious. The circus is definitely a big part of this book. And the circus in this one is very, very dark. The whole book is a story of the conflict between the darkness in the human spirit and the good in the human spirit, and the battle between those. It's very Campbellian.
And it's part of what makes it so fitting for October.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the changing of the seasons and the dying of the old year.
And mortality in general.
And the resistance to that change. And I just love that in the end, I don't want to spoil anything, but they do finally defeat the dark through laughter. And I think that's just the most beautiful, beautiful thing when Will's father tells him, "Don't let them take your crying, turn it upside down and use it for their own smile. I'll be damned if death wears my sadness for glad rags. Don't feed them one damn thing, Willie." Which I just love. The idea that if you're faced with darkness, if you're faced with negativity, you fight it through positivity, which I think is the best moral ever.
I also love the scenes in this book that center around the library, where one of the main characters' father works. And the contrast and the sort of connection between generations, sharing their love for, written words and for stories, and the environment of the library itself, connecting us to all of human history.
And there's this idea of books being the answer to the problem they're trying to solve. There's a scene where Will's father has laid out all the books that are applicable to their situation in a clock pattern. And he's seeing this as the grand clock of time as told through the story of books. It's very effective as imagery goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites as well. And it's a very short and accessible book. Absolutely anyone can and everyone should read this. And especially in October.
Especially in October. If you have not yet read Something Wicked This Way Comes, I highly, highly recommend it. Get yourself a copy right now, and you're going to love it. thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a nice thumbs up, and remember to tell your friends about this wonderful book, which I don't get anything from the sale of this book, I just think everyone should read it, and tell them about my books too. Thank you very much and have a great day. Happy Halloween!